Hey, how you doing? My name's Tyler Doerner, and I'm excited to tell you about why I'm a great fit for this position. Number one, primarily, is that I love working out. I love fitness, any kind. I've done CrossFit, Olympic lifting, powerlifting. I've done so much bodybuilding, and while I was in school, I love every bit of it. I love the mobility, the flexibility, core stability, strength, power, speed, all that kind of stuff, and how they all really connect together. How every lift and everything I do in the weight room will connect with any kind of sport, including kickboxing. Um, I was a baseball player in college a little bit. I played for a couple of years at Manchester, and I'm going to be going to IPY this coming fall. So I'm really excited, looking forward to being close to home and staying close to my mom and doing all that other kind of stuff. So number one, like I said in the interview, I think it was Saturday. I was an intern for a strength conditioning coach, Coach Carol Happ. And if it wasn't for all the things she's had, all these certifications she's had, I would go on and tell you about them. But there's so many I really can't tell you. Um, but it was a great learning experience. I taught gym or weightlifting things to younger rookies, and that was awesome. That was a great experience for me to be able to teach them things that I learned from her, and going through school, learning how it all connects, all that other great stuff. It was great how the back squat connects to soccer kicking, how that connects to the baseball swing, how that connects to the overhead press. I mean, it all connects, and it's all very relevant. So if you move better in the weight room, you'll move better in life in general in any sport. And I'll be going into more about how they all connect as I demonstrate or teach you. One of the things I learned from her was back squat. I'll be going into that later in the video. Secondly, one of the other reasons is when I was working at Logo USA up in Westfield, I printed t-shirts, I made deliveries, I swept floors, kind of just did anything they needed me to do. And that really helped develop initiative myself, because sometimes there wasn't a whole lot of stuff to do. We didn't have any orders, and you had to find something to do. I always made it a point to try and go out of my way and find something else to do. What can I do to help this company out? That was my main goal every day. No one wants to just stand around and get paid for doing nothing. You got to find a way to make things work, and you got to find something to do every single day. And so I love going the extra mile, doing more than what you're paid to do. I think that pays huge dividends. And this isn't just about, just being a college kid looking for money. I mean, I'm an exercise science major, and I want to go into physical therapy. And if you want to do that, you really have to have a passion for helping people. And I love helping people, especially when it comes to weight room, especially when it comes to how your body should move, how everything connects with each other, how walking and sitting can connect to the back squat deadlift. If you know the back squat and deadlift, you know how to walk and sit correctly. And that stuff, I mean, it really just, it gets me going. It revs my engine for sure. I love doing all that kind of stuff. And if guys coming back from an injury, how can we make him or her stronger than when they were before? And even if it comes to kickboxing, getting the best shape of your life, and how, if I do this correctly, well, this connects with that. And if I punch this way, I kick this way, well, hey, I got to do the same thing for both. It's just a different movement. And I'm going to go into more of that here in just a minute as well. So I'm eager to teach you how to back squat. And here we go. Just 1 second, please. Get the angle right here. All right, now this is clearly, hold on. This is clearly not an Olympic bar. I do not have an Olympic bar here at my house. This is just an old baseball bat, but it'll use the same purpose. Olympic bar or a weightlifting bar is usually going to be about 45 pounds. Clearly this is not 45 pounds, this is about 30 ounces. But it'll be good just to demonstrate, and it just goes to show that even if you're not strong enough, even if you don't have great shoulder mobility, you can just grab a baseball bat or a dowel or whatever, and you can still squat correctly. All right, so the first thing about squatting, when you want to get in the rack, you want to really pull those shoulder blades tight, and you want to squeeze your core. That's number one. This bar should be resting right on the traps, and you should pull it tight. I always tell my students, you want to try and break that bar over your back. So it's like, if I were to try and bend this bar right over my back, that's going to put me in a good position. I'm going to have my thumbs, my wrist right on top, and my thumb right on top of the bar as well. because my thumb was underneath, I'm going to be broken at the wrist. And you always want to have your wrist in line with your elbow, no matter what it is that you're doing. So this is one thing that everything connects with, is that, if I'm going to punch somebody, I'm not going to punch with a broken wrist. I'm going to punch with my wrist in line with my elbow, like that, right? Even if I'm doing a pull-up. If I'm doing a pull-up, I want my wrist in line with my elbow. Chin up, bench press, overhead press, back squat, deadlift, everything wrist in line with your elbow. So you're going to have your wrist in line with your elbow. You're going to pull that bar tight, squeeze your core, keep that core tight. A lot of people think that your core can be worked out just by doing sit-ups and crunches, which it can. I'm not saying it can't, but the primary goal of your core is to stabilize your spine. If you have a strong core, if you're tight right here, it's literally impossible for you to try and overextend or round. So that was me here. I'll try and overextend and round with a strong core. This is what it looks like. Now if I loosen it, if I become weak in the core, I'll try and overextend, round, a lot easier. That's why you want to have core strength. That's why a guy with a 500-pound back squat has a stronger core than a guy with a 200-pound back squat, no matter how many sit-ups the guy with the 200-pound back squat does. So pull it tight. Should be sitting right on your traps. Wrist them out with your elbows. Squeeze your core. Squeeze your belly. Squeeze your bottom. That's where all the power comes from. Your feet alignment. I'm not sure. Let me try and get the angle right here. So your feet alignment will be shoulder width, a little bit wider than shoulder width. Your toes slightly out, okay? If they're too far out like this, your knees can cave in. And you'll see right here, you'll see how my knee is caving in right here, and that's going to tear your ACL. ACL runs like this. If I pull it in like that, then it's going to tear it. You see videos of RG3. Whenever he tore his ACL, his knee came in just like this. That's not what we want. So we don't want our toes too far out. But if we have our toes too far, they're too far forward, however, you're not going to be able to get your feet out or knees out. And if you do, look, I'm coming up right here on my outside of my foot. That's not good either. So you want your toes slightly out, not too much, maybe about 15 degrees or so. And you're going to be a little bit wider than shoulder width. So I'm squeezing my bottom, I'm squeezing my core, keeping everything super tight. And from here, I'm just going to reach my butt back. That's going to be the first movement. Reach my butt all the way back. Really try and stretch those hamstrings. Let me get a better angle real quick. So core tight, stable position. Reach my butt back, just like that. My hamstrings are being pulled tight. My knees shove out. I have the weight right over the middle of my foot. All right, I have my eyes forward. If I'm up like this or down like this, that's going to put a kink in my nervous system. We don't want that. We want our spine to be straight line, about 45-degree angle, knees out. And from here, all I'm going to do is push straight through the ground through my middle of the foot. And I'm going to squeeze a $100 bill between my butt cheeks. That's all it is. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Finish. This is where all your power is, all right? Right here in the glutes, baby. I'm telling you. That is where all your power is going to be. And so, like I said, like I told you, like I promised, this all connects in one way or another because, if I were to kick somebody, one, I have to stabilize my core. If my core is weak, I can, lean back. Whoa, I'm off balance. Core tight. It's a lot easier for that spine to stay in this rigid position. Okay? If I kick somebody, I want to make sure I lock out my knee, flex my quad, really squeezing my glutes. If I don't squeeze my glutes, if I don't lock out my leg, I'm not going to get as much power as I possibly could. So that's number one. Getting all that power, transferring from the ground to your legs or from the ground through the extremities. That's what the back squat is primarily. The bar, all the weight of the bar is up here on the bar and on your shoulders. That's where all the weight is. If I were to squat with a weak core, I cannot transfer the energy from the ground to my hands, to my back primarily. So that's why I think that the back squat is the king of exercises. and the deadlift is because, I mean, they transfer energy from the ground to your hands. And so, yeah, that's basically why the back squat is the best exercise. I mean, it teaches strength in every component, upper body strength, isometric with the chest and the back, even the hands and wrists and forearm, isometric strength where you're just squeezing the hell out of that bar, it's just what we told our students in high school. Squeeze the heck out of that bar, and you're going to be lengthening those hamstrings, and you're going to be lengthening your glutes. That's what it is. You're going to lengthen those muscles out. That's that eccentric contraction, the negative movement. And then the concentric is on the way up. When you're squeezing your butt cheeks so hard, that's where all your power is. You're squeezing your butt cheeks. You finish at the top position. Hamstrings are longer, and your quads contract. All right, at the top of the position, your butt should be squeezed, your quads are contract. That's the concentric portion. So with all that weight coming down, stretching it out, reaching your butt as far back as you possibly can, keeping your spine at a little bit of a 45-degree angle, driving straight through the ground, finishing. Make sure you keep those knees out though. That's a big thing I see a lot. And keep your weight on your heels. But if your knees, hold on, let me get this angle real quick. Because if my knees were to stay forward like this, hold on. My knees were to stay forward, I'm not sure how well you can see it, but I come up on my toes. And if I come up on my toes, that puts a lot more stress on my knee joint. And the more narrow this knee joint is, the more stress it's going to put around here. The more open that knee joint is, the more stress it's going to put right here on these big muscles, which is what we want. So if you might see how my knee joint is open, more than 90 degrees, it's going to put more stress on my hamstrings and my butt. If I fall forward a little bit, well, that puts more stress on my knees right here in this area. We don't want that at all. We want to keep those knees open, nice and strong, stable core, squeezing the butt. And so again, that's why I think that this exercise can connect with any sport, anywhere. I mean, all you do is, if you know 3 basic things, move from the hips, move from the shoulders, squeeze your core, keep that core tight, you're going to know about 80%, close to 90% of things in the weight room. That's really it. So I'm excited about this position. I think I'm a very energetic guy. I love working out, like I said. I know how it all connects. And if a student has a problem, like, hey, I don't understand this technique, well, I can relate it back to any kind of movement in the weight room. I know how it all connects, and I know how, if you have a problem punching, if you're not getting enough force right here, maybe you're trying to wind up, get that core tight, move from the shoulders, and really throw a hard punch instead of just like this. Really wind up, push that core, keep those shoulders tight, make sure you're squeezing your butt. That's going to transfer more power from the ground to your extremities. Just like the back squat, keep your core tight, keep that butt engaged. I mean, that's going to transfer more power from the ground to the extremities. Just like if I were to punch someone in our weak position, see, I'm not pushing against the ground at all. That's how hard I punch. But if I were to squeeze my butt, squeeze my core, get a little movement from the shoulders, a lot stronger. So anyway, just to wrap up, I may have gone over a little bit, but I really enjoyed this, and I had a lot of fun doing this. So looking forward to hear from you. Again, my name is Tyler Doerner. You can contact me at tylerdoerner95@gmail.com or over the phone at 317-726-6561. Thank you.